guess the key for the devil trap is like to go unnoticed until it's too late. Like
just like a traditional trap, they have to be able to get in and not out.
Like if they can see it, then it doesn't have the same sort of power, I guess. Like,
yeah.
Dean's also looking really cute in this, like.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, go ahead, Ella. Mention the freckles. I know you want to.
Yeah, I just thought his like skin was popping off in this episode. Like he just looks great.
He's glowing.
Good job.
Good job.
I don't know if it's like how they were just like doing Jensen's makeup, but like Jensen is very glowy in the first 3 seasons. Like
I think he just looks like that. Like if you see photos of him on like the red carpet or whatever, that's what he looks like.
Well, this is like early seasons. Like he look, I don't know if he even could grow facial hair. I know Jared definitely couldn't in the early seasons, but like I don't know, they did like a very like I don't know. They look like they're made of plastic in like a good way.
Yeah.
Like cannot possibly be real.
We've called them a couple times in the podcast like models who can act.
It literally is that, honestly.
Yeah.
They have many talents. One of them is looking amazing.
I mean, that really is the CW's MO. Like, that is how the CW hires people.
Right.
Yeah.
They check your portfolio.
But they don't hire anyone unless they're, like, stupid hot. Like,
yeah. They
so
check
weird.
your modeling portfolio first and then your acting.
Yeah, Casey, stops the father from going in the devil's trap. And then she also doesn't want to kill Dean. She's, like, taking a liking to Dean, but, like, her partner is really intent on killing Dean. So Sam comes in and shoots him with the Colt. And then he also shoots Casey, even though Dean also doesn't want to kill Casey now either. And I was like, Dean, what was your plan with Casey? Like,
he will have friendships all over the shop.
I don't know if
creatures will
I'll just exercise her or what, but
We became bros.
They became bros.
they were trapped in the basement together. Like,
You know, that's
They were in
great
a situation. Yeah. They I think what happens here is that, like, I can't remember who said it. I couldn't quite hear. But one of you mentioned that, like, maybe the plan was to exercise her instead. Yeah. There you go. But, yeah, because she does mention that she's been looking after Casey's body, right? Like, she's been taken care of.
Yeah, she's, like, in there. The Colt does
Very
kill
ruthless
them.
of Sam.
Yeah.
Just like,
Well,
pop.
he's getting it done, dude.
Well, this is a thing that's kind of brought up, like, next season as to, like, because, you know, like, I mean, Sam brings up a little bit here, too, but, like, the Colt does kill the body, like, and they have
Yes.
yeah, I mean,
Because, like,
The
we're
whole
still shooting someone in the head.
yeah.
Chest, head, it'll do it.
I mean, they shot John with it. He didn't die, but it's fine.
yeah, if
But
you're
Steven
even like
shot him in the
John,
leg.
Die either.
Was it on
so.
his shoulder or in his leg
I
or
think it was
something?
in his leg, but
It
like
was in
I
his
don't know.
leg.
I think if you shoot the demon anywhere, like, and the demon's like in there, and the demon dies, I think the person dies, like no matter how bad the gunshot wound is. Like I think
Yeah.
if the
That
demon's
doesn't sound
dying
like
in
sense.
down
them,
to the plot. If they want to get in, like, if they want to get into all that, then they'll die. But if not, it's now they're in the hospital. It's fine.
Dean and Bobby are then having a heart-to-heart about Sam killing Casey, and that maybe Sam did come back wrong when Dean made a deal, and Bobby's like, demons just say stuff like that. Like, I'm sure Sam's just fine, but I kind of tell by Bobby's face, like, Bobby doesn't really think that, and Bobby maybe is a little bit concerned that Sam didn't come back quite right.
Yeah.
Yep.
The thing about Sam is that he's always been kind of scary. Like, he's always had anger issues, like,
Right.
under the surface. Like, it's just,
Right.
like, rage, like just kind of, like, lives underneath, like, a very, like, nice guy exterior with Sam, and
Right.
Right,
I'm
so
so
that
glad you're
makes
saying
the-
this.
That makes the question, like, did he come back the same Sam, or was the only change is that he's no longer hiding that part of himself as much?
also just, like, Dean has a refusal to let Sam grow up. Like, Dean, and, like, I don't know, I think Dean's just, like, resistant to Sam acting any different than Sam acted when he was, like, 12.
Maybe that's why Bobby as well is also a bit like, oh, he's being different.
Bobby
Like he
definitely
would have
sees
the
Sam
same
as a little
perspective.
kid. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, at the end of season 2, he went through so much shit as well. So it's like,
Yeah.
that could also
Yeah,
just
he
be
might
affecting
just
him.
be-
Yeah, that
Not
changes the
necessarily
person.
dying.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think just saying, like, this situation is extreme enough that I'm just going to take care of it, which Dean does a fair amount of times as well. Like, him going now, like, oh, that was so cold-hearted the way he did it.
but any other situation, I don't think that anyone would have blinked an eye about this. Like, this is...
No, this is just they want to make a point. They want you
Yeah.
to think Sam came back wrong or whatever.
Also, while they're having this conversation, Sam and Ruby are back at the motel room by themselves. I'm like, okay, if you're that worried about Sam, like, maybe don't leave him alone, but okay. But Sam's upset about the people that he had to kill. Like, he's upset that Casey and the priest died. Like, he's, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if Bobby and Dean saw that, then they wouldn't be so worried.
Yeah, that's a good point. thank
would
you.
be like assuaged a little bit. But
these men need to talk to each other.
oh yeah, I mean that really is it at the end of the day.
So,
Is
debrief.
It's a pretty constant theme throughout the show.
I was about to say another tagline. You should talk.
Sam picks up the Colt and he's thinking about shooting Ruby, but the promise that maybe Ruby can help Dean is enough to keep Sam from actually doing it. And Ruby calls herself the little fallen angel on Sam's shoulder, and then the episode ends.
I was like, "Oh, Sam Ruby," and then I was trying to remember like how much they've interacted so far.
I mean, this is the first time that this is the first episode where like Ruby's been present and we knew her name. Last week we learned her name, but she wasn't here, and the first 2 episodes of the season here, but we didn't know her name. So
we're making progress.
Something to keep an eye on.
Dean still hasn't met Ruby, and this is the first time that Bobby's met Ruby. So it really has been like Sam. Like she's singling out Sam. She like kind of shows up when he's by himself on purpose, so that she can dangle this "I'm gonna help your brother" thing, and Dean won't be there to like call bullshit and throw a hissy fit about it.
Strange behavior from a demon. We haven't really seen.
Absolutely, definitely not a whole manipulation thing. Let's start with MVP of the week. Ella, who would you like to nominate as MVP of the week?
Is it a difficult question?
I'm just gonna say Richie. I'm just gonna shout out Richie. He doesn't get enough love.
Okay.
I'm gonna definitely be checking out some Richie / Dean. See what's going on there. I saw the way they looked at each other. Men will look at each other, and yeah, shout out.
Men sure will. This is a weird choice, a weird pick.
It's fine. It
Where
happens.
you live? I don't know who else to pick.
Meredith, who would you like to pick?
I'll go with Sam, because he wasn't trapped in a basement.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
pretty good,
Elsa,
yeah.
how about you?
I was definitely also thinking Sam. He did the case. He did the whole case. Well, Dean did some work, but mostly Dean was flirting, and like that's his like base setting for the season anyway. So like,
I said Ruby, just because she did the Colt thing, and then like Sam. I mean, Sam probably could have did an exorcism thing, but
Yeah,
the Colt's
good job,
kind of a big
Ruby.
deal.
yeah, that's very true.
Also, because I think that she transported Bobby like 12 hours in like less than 2, so
Yeah.
that was helpful.
Oh yeah, she's fun in this season.
What a legend.
Yeah, so glad that Bobby like came in person this time. Bechdel test. 2 name women this episode. I mean, yeah, we had Ruby and we had Casey.
Yeah.
They didn't talk to one another.
So this episode still doesn't pass the Bechdel test, but at least they were there and they were named. It's an improvement over many of the weeks we've been having.
And they were both
Right.
interesting characters in their own right.
Right. Yeah.
Second.
Yeah.
And we're doing things that weren't like specifically about men, you know? Like
Yeah.
that's nice.
Case of the week was demons. Did anyone have anything?
I don't.
No?
You're lucky I'm here. It has not been a good week.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's demons. Maybe Casey had some special demon powers because she was able to do the little basement thing from inside the devil's trap, but like, who knows?
So, like, if you look at anything that has to do with demons, in even just in like Christian literature and theology, they always have special powers.
Yeah.
They're not very consistent.
So much of this season is just demons. I'm like,
Yeah.
and they're not
Yeah.
even doing anything like special. Like they're like the whole like thing is like they've somehow like corrupted the town. But, like they haven't really corrupted the town that much, and like they also like
Yeah.
just like took a guy out for lunch.
The interesting thing about demon lore, I guess, is that so much of it isn't even in like any actual scripture.
It just kind of exists. Like
Yeah, well, it comes. A lot of it comes out of like Christian theologians, like kind of making up their own theories
yeah.
and their own
Right,
interpretations of scripture.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fun season to be like, let's do a bunch of demon stuff, but like this one was nothing special.
Yeah, like
so-
maybe like in a similar way to like the first episode of the season, like if they were a special kind of demon, like, you know, I guess it's not really a spoiler to say that like there is demons who are more powerful and less powerful, like we do know that. So they could have just shoved them in that hierarchy somewhere and it would have been like, okay, yeah, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like let's move on and we'll do highlight and low light. Meredith, did you have a highlight and a low light for this episode?
I did. It was my low light. Gosh, probably just how most of this episode isn't very memorable.
Yeah, that's fair.
My highlight is actually the arbitrary thing that I liked about this episode that makes me remember it. And I'm gonna have to talk a little longer, but maybe that'll be what I do instead of the mythology section.
That's fine.
Anyway, so I've mentioned before that I have a very short list of fan fictions that I'll never write. And right at the top of the list is Casey and the priest. And I just thought, like, the implication, well, not the implication, but like the fact that they seem to be like these really ancient demons in a committed relationship is just so interesting. And it's a trope that I really, really like.
I breezed right over the fact that they were like in love and like they kissed, because I was just annoyed that like Supernatural was like, ooh, like a bartender and a priest are kissing, like a priest has a demon, and I'm like, the dude has a demon in him. We've already like that was your like sacrilege factor.
Like, yeah, that's weird, but like the demons themselves, I want to develop their relationship.
I actually would read the heck out of that.
I just want to know what you guys have done over the centuries. What's your story? Yeah, so that was my highlight.
There's an implication because they say they've been to hell and back, so like maybe they knew each other as humans.
Yeah,
and like got
that would be way cooler.
And like, isn't that romantic? Come on.
Yeah. Crap, do I have to write this fanfiction now?
I think you do.
A little bit. You kind of do. I'm sorry.
Maybe a supernatural fanfiction would be fun.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, like, to think of them as, like, a pair, and, like, they maybe could have been, like, I don't know. I'm thinking, like, my brain says Bonnie and Clyde, but I'm sure there's, like, a biblical version of, like, some kind of, like, you know, a pair of something that get up to trouble, you know, like, they could have done, like, something a bit more interesting with that, because it is fun to think that they're not just, like, there's not hordes of demons doing what they're doing. Like, they seem to have a really specific, like, plan and strategies and stuff, which, could have been fleshed out a lot more.
Yeah, and there's lots of people and pairs like that in different mythologies, too. Like, these people who are, like, romantically involved or in some sort of partnership.
And, like, it's for the worse. Like, it makes them evil.
It is a pretty fun trope to see villains being, like, evil, but, like, together.
Yeah, it's called something. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Gone TV tropes.
It's probably a good idea. My brain is mush.
You said go on TV tropes, but I feel like it's like a true crime thing to like talk about as well. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
I think my low light is like, and now don't get mad at me, but like trying to make Dean a little Christian boy or agnostic boy is a little.
I think they're trying a little bit too hard in this one. Like,
yeah,
it does not mesh with anything we've seen before from him. It's just so nothing to me. It's that and the misogyny, but like this is Supernatural, so I feel like that's applied whenever I say anything. So, it just doesn't make sense to me considering some of his points of view earlier in the show, and later.
Yeah, it's not terribly consistent.
I guess my highlight would have to be Sam apologizing to the guys that he just held a gun. It's really good. I wrote down the whole quote there where he was like, "It's a minor understanding."
I didn't know what to make mine, but I think that's gonna be mine also.
I have a suggestion. I have a suggestion for somebody else if we have an empty spot.
Yeah, I need one. So
the use of run through the jungle when they show the bar at first was really fun.
I didn't even notice, but I should have.
It's a good needle job. I added it to my playlist.
I didn't even. I don't know. I was sick. I like watched this yesterday, and like I've been so sick. I honestly didn't even notice. I didn't add it to the playlist. Nothing. I just totally let it slide right by.
Oh, a good thing we brought Elsa.
Yeah.
Here I am to save you.
Yeah,
I didn't have a highlight, so I'm okay with adopting that as my own.
Aww.
I didn't write anything for highlight or low light. Honestly, low light, I think I'm going to drop this whole episode to a 5. The more that we talked about it, the less I've liked it. I don't know if I have a specific low light. Like,
yeah.
I think just in general, I'm going to drop my overall rating to like a 5.
That's fair.
And I just don't.
I'm feeling like that a bit.
The thing that tipped me from a 5 to a 6 was Sam apologizing to guys that he just held up for a gun.
Right.
I think that's what got me.
I feel
there.
like all 6 of those points are just that scene.
There were
really
two big things I liked about this episode, and it was Sam apologizing to the guys he's threatening, and then
these two demons have been in love for centuries. Yeah,
right. I need good things.
I think my low light is like also like I guess more specifically Dean's bad writing. Like I had a lot of things that I noted when I was watching that I was like,
I don't know.
that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right. Like the ass on a nickel thing.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like so ridiculous that I just like kind of laughed. Like it just doesn't feel like something he would say. And I know that there's people who are like, oh, you know, well he said it, so it is something he would say, but it didn't feel right.
These are characters written by people, and those people don't always have the same views.
Yeah. It's just like it's sleazy in a way that we don't really hear from him usually. And yeah, so that's probably the low light, that vibe. Highlight is, I don't know, maybe just after that there's a bit where Sam says like, oh, you drink hurricanes now, and he just says, I do now, and then like smiles at Sam. I thought that was cute.
Dean secretly